Okay guys, so I'll just start talking a little bit about what I was going to do, and hopefully we'll get to figure out how to flip that screen round so I can see your comments or questions as I'm talking. So first thing I was just going to talk about was some online social accounts to follow, which I think could be pretty useful in regards to training, nutrition, etc. First one, on Instagram, there's a guy called Coach Carl UK. He's posting some pretty creative home stuff. For example, just using a couple of towels, he's recreated a sort of TRX / rings where you can hit sort of what would be a ring row or something to hold on to for assisted pistol squats, and a variety of other exercises you can do. So worth a follow, I think. And then secondly, we've got again, for sort of good home workouts with next to no kit or minimal kit, weightlifting 101. So these guys normally just focus on weightlifting for CrossFit, but during this time they're posting daily workouts, alternating between upper body and lower body. Some pretty good stuff, so again, worth a follow on Facebook or Instagram. They also come with videos. And in some of the kind of big global boxes, CrossFit Invictus, NC Fit with Jason Kalipa, again, all posting some pretty good stuff with minimal equipment needed, along with videos. And then nutrition wise, we've got Martin Nutrition on Instagram. He owns Mac Nutrition, one of the big players in the nutrition game, posting some pretty cool content on how to attack your nutrition throughout this period. And then more locally, we've got Apex Fitness Systems. Their Facebook account is a bit more active than their Instagram account, but they're posting some stuff to help with nutrition during this time. And then also a guy called Sami Bousri. He was the guy who was going to do our calisthenics workshop. He's posting some pretty good body weight and gymnastic stuff with just minimal kit or a set of rings. Again, with videos kind of explaining the whole thing. I will put all these accounts in the comments after, so if you do want to follow, you can check them out. And let's see if there's any help with flipping the screen round. No. Again, for those that have just joined, thanks. I'm having issues flipping my screen round, and so obviously I need to be able to see the screen to see any questions, but I'll keep turning my computer around. So yeah, those were all the social accounts that I recommend to follow for fitness and nutrition, to give yourself a little bit of variety. Next, for anyone with kids or maybe even inactive siblings, parents, anyone that could do with getting some exercise, you probably know, but Joe Wicks, the body chef, is doing a daily PE session on his YouTube channel. And a lot of other celebrities have been getting involved with other subjects. So I think Carol Vorderman is doing a daily maths lesson. David Walliams doing a daily English lesson, I believe, and plenty more, all on their YouTube channels. So again, if you've got kids or anyone you think that might be useful to, let them know and share it. Next up, just want to mention sort of intensity versus stress levels. So quite a few of you, I'm sure, especially if you're a bit unsure on work, lost jobs, had to close businesses down, you may well be feeling more stressed than usual. So this should be reflected in your training. So when we're stressed, our body elevates cortisol levels. So this is a stress hormone, normally short-lived, and when it's short-lived it can be good and necessary, but if we have too much of it, it can be bad. Breaks a lot of tissue down, amongst other things. So when we exercise, our body also sees that as stress, which can then elevate cortisol levels. So elevating cortisol levels from both fronts, from a stress front through life and then again through exercise, isn't the best combination. We want this in moderation, not elevated levels. So more isn't always better. So if you're going through a stressful period at the moment, just maybe take your training down a notch and don't kill yourself every day. It's not going to be healthy in the long run. Question from Trev, first question of the night, super serious one. How do I maintain those curls? Thanks, mate. Genetics. I think you're going to struggle, mate. You actually need hair to be able to curl it. Spent years as a kid straightening this, but now I'm embracing it and don't really have to do a lot. I'm sure you all wanted to know that. What else, guys? So there's loads of, for those interested, there's loads of at-home competitions coming out. Some are free, some are pretty cheap, like a £5 to enter. And same way, you normally kind of go through qualifier workouts. They release a workout every day or every week, and then you have to perform it and put your score into a leaderboard. One a few of us are doing at the moment is the Norwegian Championship Living Room Throwdown. It was free to enter. There were 3 workouts. You didn't have to film yourself. It's kind of an honesty thing. All body weight workouts with kind of no kit. Yeah, just a little bit of motivation, a little bit of something to aim for, see where you finish on the leaderboard, or get friends to join in on those Zoom sessions and see where you'll stack up against each other. The first workout of this one I did on Monday. It equated to 300 air squats, and I was still struggling to walk on Thursday. So pretty good workout. Picture of straight hair, Abby. I'm sure if you scroll back far enough on my Facebook photos, you will find plenty of straight hair photos. If you're lucky, you might even find me with a mullet. I'm sure everyone's got plenty of time. If you do want to scroll back, you will find them. Yeah, so guys, those at-home competitions, if you're struggling to find them, let me know and I will point you in the right direction. Most of them are on a website called Competition Corner. Just take a look and get involved if you feel like it. What have I got? So, thinking of focus and goals during this time, especially if you're not working, just sat at home with not a lot to do. Plenty of things you could be focusing on. For example, 5k run. I'm not the biggest of runners, but over the last few months I have been running. I was supposed to have a sprint triathlon, which has obviously been cancelled. So I know that over the next couple of months while I'm at home, it's easy to be able to go out once a day and get a run in if I need to. So I could have that specific distance in mind. I know what my PB is, so I could use the next sort of 8 weeks to try and focus on improving that. Doesn't have to be kind of fitness related. Even sort of a mobility point of view, you can kind of test your range of motion on things. Really easy one is a seated sort of hamstring test. See how far you can reach forward, if you can touch your toes, if you can get past them, and then keep on stretching, working on that flexibility, and retest plenty of different goals and focuses to be had. If you did want to have a chat about any of them, feel free to give me a shout, but let's not waste this time. Let's put it to good use. Ricky, awesome question, buddy. First serious question. Any good tips or exercises using the sandbags in a workout? You can pretty much treat this sandbag like you would a barbell or dumbbell. So the list is pretty endless. I would try and use two hands for most of my exercises. So let's replicate a barbell. We can deadlift with it. We can lunge with it. We can clean it, power clean it, squat clean it. We can press it overhead, and all sort of various variations of those movements. Carry it, kind of bear hug it. I wouldn't recommend throwing it. I don't think they're that sturdy, but yeah, I definitely think sort of grind to overhead, thrusters, sort of those big compound movements are going to really get the heart rate up. So yeah, that would be my aim, dude. Thrusters, grind to overhead, clean variations, and carries. Add that in with sort of a bodyweight movement or some running or rowing, sprints, then you'll get a pretty good workout in. "27 of you on here, and no one knows how to flip my screen round." Licking the screen pod more. Yeah, tried that earlier, didn't work. Other things I'm going to look to be filling some time with, so education and learning. So quite a few like online courses. Some that I've been following are now offering them for free or at a reduced rate. So I've sort of downloaded that material or created an online login, and over the weeks I'll just be looking through that content and trying to brush up on existing skills or learning some new ones. And this doesn't have to be exercise related. I've seen a lot of stuff being posted about sort of online marketing courses, like video editing courses. Could be anything. I'm sure if you look you can find something online that could be an official course. It could be a YouTube series that someone's posted. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on this, but hour a day, a few hours a week, especially if we're in this for the long run, maybe 12 weeks, then you could definitely educate yourself a bit more on your chosen subjects. So my actually Sarah, how did I get so good at gymnastics? Annoyingly, for most people, I've always been quite good. So I remember in school just being able to walk on my hands. So it's not something I've kind of learnt. It's something I could just do. And then it was pretty easy to build on it. But it doesn't mean I don't still work on it. I'm putting in the work each week on the movements I want to focus on. So if that's muscle ups, then you need to be doing the drills every week to eventually progress towards those movements. And Kit, any websites I recommend with regards to what would you like recommendations on? Next question was, Mark Burling, which bodyweight movements would I do in a single session to hit upper, core and lower with the added issue of limited indoor space? Single session, upper. Okay, so Mark, first of all, I would keep it super simple. I wouldn't try and complicate this. So upper body, we've got press ups. Okay, so I'd be hitting these. You could always add a tempo to the press up, or if you have some weight plates or a daughter, something on your back. But that would be my kind of go-to upper body movement with minimal kit. Okay, if you do have some dumbbells, kettlebells or a weighted rucksack, I would also throw in some rows, so like bent over rows, single arm, double arm, so you've got a push and pull for the upper body. Lower body, again, I would keep it simple. I would just be looking at squats, lunges or deadlifts, depending on what kit you've got. But dumbbell, kettlebell, barbell, front rack or body weight would suffice. If you wanted to make it harder, you could add some jumps, go a bit plyometric, jump squats, jump lunges. But again, don't try and complicate that. And then core, I'll be going either maybe V-sits or hollow holds, hollow rocks. They'll both have the desired effect. Shouldn't need too much space for any of that. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Again, add tempos, add pauses, add jumps as and when you feel you need to. Hope that helps. Kit again, Fort Ashton home working games. Do you mean sort of competition-esque games? Give me a little bit more detail on what you mean. I'm sure we can make it work. Kit, loving all the questions. So nutrition, I'm gonna pass the buck on this one because next week our dietitian Sean is gonna do a live Q&A solely for nutrition. Okay, he'll know a lot more than me. This is what he does for a living. So hold tight for a week, and we will have another one of these videos just dedicated to nutrition questions. And in terms of improving your press ups, change the angle, add negatives. So changing the angle, you are gonna basically elevate your upper body. So that could be on a wall, on a bench, on a chair, something where you're not as horizontal as you would be on the floor, and get some volume in at that angle and slowly work your way down to the floor. And then with the negatives, full push-up position, slowly lower yourself all the way to the floor as much as you can. Press back up from the knees, a knee push-up, and then back to your full negative. And just work in sets where you can keep control. Okay. Again, super simple, but it will work. Ricky, great question, buddy. So without a pull-up bar, how do you maintain the strength that you've built up in that movement? It's going to be hard, okay? I would just be doing as much upper body pulling or rowing movements as you can. So bent over rows, rear flies, things like that. Even though it's not a vertical pull, it's still going to be working those upper back muscles and that pulling motion. If I refer back to one of the Instagram accounts I mentioned earlier, Coach Carl UK, he's got a great video on how to set up basically a couple of towels in a door frame, and it recreates almost like a set of rings. Okay, so you can do like ring rows on it. You could probably even do some like seated pull-ups type movement on it, but go and check his Instagram out. I'll post it in here later, Coach Carl UK, and just have a little look around for his video on towel rows. Okay, kit makes sense. Yep, 4 Ashton Games, maybe a little challenge for max reps, something like that. I've got a few ideas in mind for things like this, just trying to spread the content out a little bit, as we don't know how long we'll be doing this. But yes, definitely something we're thinking about, and we'll get it going in due course. Helen, good question. Best dumbbell exercises to maintain upper body or shoulder strength. I mean, your go-to, your staple one are going to be shoulder press. Okay, so seated or standing, single arm, double arm, mix it up depending on what dumbbells you have and what weight they are. Mix those rep schemes up. So Sam's content next week on how to design your own home program should help. But hit some higher volume sets, and then if it's not heavy enough for kind of lower volume, then add some tempos in. So press it up and then maybe create a 5-second lower on each rep. That should spice things up. And you've also got a bench press, but I would go floor press if you haven't got a bench to lie on. Just lie on the floor and hit those dumbbell presses. Again, single arm or double arm or both, depending on the weight and dumbbells you've got. And then, like I said earlier to Ricky, rowing movements, bent over rows, single arm or double arm, and that should cover a lot of your upper body strength there. Hey Sarah, yeah, a real issue I guess for a lot of people, how to stay motivated during these times. Referring to kind of training specifically, I would encourage you to get online as much as possible with other people. So I've been doing this a fair bit this week, jumping on Zoom, doing the same WOD, so you can see a friend doing it at their house whilst you're doing it as well. And I would just don't expect too much of yourself. Do what you can. Maybe have like a plan of the day, what time you're going to train, what you plan on getting done in that session. All the class WODs are relatively short, so yeah, I don't feel like you have to do loads, but I'd say as much as possible, you can drag whoever you're living with and get them involved, awesome, and just try and jump online as much as possible with as many different people as possible. I know it's hard. Hopefully we won't be in this situation forever, but yeah, I feel your pain. Thanks for looking, John. Yeah, I think that might be iPhone only. I can't seem to find it on my laptop. Maybe they have, I'm on a Windows, so maybe they have got rid of it for iPhone. I'll try and sort this out for next time we do a live Q&A. So just while there's no more questions, just chat a little bit about kind of my daily routine. Personally, don't feel a huge need to have a super strict routine. So I've kind of been waking up when I wake up, no alarm set, and then sort of just getting ready as and when, and then depending on how I feel, I'll either do some work first or I'll train, probably normally depending on kind of the weather as well, if I'm going to get outside and be in the sun. Yeah, I'm just going off kind of like instinct and how I feel, whereas that doesn't work for everyone. So Kirsty, for example, my wife, she needs a super strict routine. She's still working from home, so she needs her kind of daily routine to fit in with that. But yeah, I see a lot of advice asking people to get a routine, and if that works for you, great, definitely do it. But it won't work for everyone. Like I said, I'm sort of just going off how I feel, still managing to get what I need to get done during the day, still training, still getting my work done, but a little bit more kind of intuitively than a structure. Just looking if I've missed any questions. I think I've covered all the ones so far. Yeah, guys, so I hope some of that's helped. Some of that information is useful. I will post this. I've been recording this on my phone as well, so I will post this video for anyone that missed it. And like I said, I will put in the comments of those social media accounts to follow if anyone's interested. You've got a update email coming out on Sunday with what to expect next week and a few kind of changes and things moving forward. As always, any issues, give me a call, drop me a message. Have a great weekend.